Every 40 seconds, someone in the world decides their life is not worth living. Not because they are weak, not because they are broken, but because they are in pain, and no one taught them there was a way through it. It is one of the leading causes of death for people under 35, and yet we barely talk about it. We change the subject. We call it a sensitive topic. We look away. Today we are not looking away, because understanding this, really understanding it, might be the most important thing you do this year. Let's start with the numbers, because they are staggering. Let that last number sink in. 9 out of 10 people who experience suicidal thoughts never tell a single person. They sit with it, alone, in silence. While the world moves around them, completely unaware. Men die by suicide 3 to 4 times more often than women. Not because men suffer more, but because they are far less likely to ask for help. We have built a culture where showing pain is weakness, and that culture is killing people. What actually happens inside the mind? Here is the most important thing I want you to understand. Suicidal thoughts are not a desire to die, they are a desire to stop unbearable pain. The person is not thinking, I want to die. They are thinking, I cannot survive feeling like this for one more day. That is a completely different thing, and it matters because pain can be treated. Death cannot be undone. One of the most dangerous effects of severe emotional pain is what psychologists call cognitive constriction, or tunnel vision. The brain literally loses the ability to see options. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for problem-solving and future planning, becomes suppressed. What remains is raw pain and the belief that there is only one exit. This is not a character flaw. This is neuroscience. Researchers have identified 3 cognitive distortions that almost always accompany suicidal crises: permanence, globalization, invisibility. These 3 beliefs form the psychological cage that traps people. And here is the brutal irony. The worse someone feels, the harder it is to reach out. Because the pain itself convinces them that reaching out is pointless. Joiner's theory, the most important model in suicidology. In 2005, psychologist Thomas Joyner published what became the most influential framework for understanding suicide risk. He identified 3 factors that must be present simultaneously for the highest level of risk. First, thwarted belongingness. The feeling of, I am alone, no one needs me, I do not belong anywhere. Second, perceived burdensomeness. The belief that I am a burden, the people I love would be better off without me. Third, acquired capability. The person has, over time, overcome the natural fear of death through trauma, chronic pain, previous attempts, or exposure to violence. The critical insight, the first 2 factors are extremely common. Many people feel lonely or like a burden at some point in their lives, but without the third factor, they do not act. This means that most people who experience suicidal thoughts will never attempt suicide, and it means that intervention at any of these 3 points can save a life. So if this is so common, why don't we talk about it? The answer is stigma, and stigma is not just an attitude problem. It has real, measurable, deadly consequences. In many countries, admitting to suicidal thoughts can result in involuntary hospitalization, so people stay silent to avoid losing control of their lives. In some cultures, suicide is still considered a moral failure, a sin, a crime, a shame to the family. In others, particularly for men, the message from childhood is, handle it yourself. Do not be weak. Do not ask. Let's talk about solutions, because there are real ones, and they are being systematically underfunded. Access to therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy has decades of evidence showing it significantly reduces suicidal ideation. It directly challenges the 3 distortions we talked about earlier. Means restriction. This sounds counterintuitive, but it is one of the most powerful interventions we know of. When the UK restricted acetaminophen package sizes in 1998, limiting how many pills you could buy at once, suicide deaths by that method dropped by 43%. When barriers were built on suicide bridges, many studies show it does not lead people to find another method, they simply do not act. Because during a crisis, access to a method is the difference between life and death. Social connection. Studies consistently show that belonging, real, felt belonging, is one of the strongest protective factors. Not followers on social media, human connection.